On behalf of the Lions Club, we want to give you a check for $200, and here you are.
Is doing this walk and all this big organization to get him through this incredible walk. Kristopher's 13 years old. He's in grade 8 in Sarnia. I'm going to leave that explanation to the campaign manager, Mr. George Marcello, who is helping Kris through this, helping him organize it. And I was very glad that he phoned Sacred Hearts to offer this opportunity to meet Kris. Because for one thing, he explained that George met with the Pope in Rome in September of 2001, and the torch that Kris was carrying through the streets there has been blessed by our Pope, John Paul II. So George, I'll turn it over to you for that.
Thank you very much, Mr. McLean. Boys and girls from Sacred Heart, how's everybody doing this afternoon? Louder than that. How's everybody doing this afternoon? That is awesome. That's what I like to hear. Okay, at this point in time, what I'm going to do is we're going to do something called Up Close and Personal with Kristopher. And you know what? He loves answering questions. Right? So, I'm just going to give you a little story on how I met Kris. I was starting my campaign across Canada, and I made a stop in Sarnia, Ontario. Does everybody know where Sarnia is? Okay, I'll explain. Do you know where Toronto is? It's about 600 kilometers of walking from Toronto. Okay? Now, sorry? It's up there, Kelly. That's Kristopher's dad. Let's give Kristopher's dad a round of applause. Okay, so I met Kris. I met this young boy. He was 10 years old at the time. 10 years old. How many 10-year-olds do we have here? Oh, we got quite a few. Okay. Well, I'll tell you, it was the middle of July, the year 2000, and as I was entering Sarnia, I seen this 10-year-old boy, and he wanted to carry the torch that's in his hand right now. He wanted to carry it across Sarnia. And he did, and he carried it like a champ. He had this big smile on his face, and he kept talking about the Maple Leafs and the Detroit Red Wings, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, Kristopher lifted up his shirt to show me his scars. And he's got a lot of scars on his stomach because he had to go through a lot of operations. He had to go in the hospital a lot of times. And he told me he was on the waiting list for a liver transplant because his liver is not working properly right now. Does everybody know what the liver is? Yeah, it's a really important organ in your stomach. And Kristopher's organ is not, his liver is not working properly, so he had to continually go in the hospital to fix it. And they put him on the waiting list because he needs a new liver. And that's why we're saying that Kristopher is on the waiting list to receive a new liver. Does everybody understand that? Good. So, as I was finishing my campaign 2 years later, I met Kristopher again in Sarnia, and he was 12 at the time, because it's 2 years later. How many 12-year-olds do we have here? All right. Okay. And once again, Kristopher wanted to carry the torch. And again, he had this big smile on his face. And then he was talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Detroit Red Wings. Right? wanted to carry the torch. Sadly, he told me that he was still on the waiting list, waiting to receive his liver. But he also expressed a wish to me at that point. He wanted to carry that torch across Canada. Not just Sarnia this time, he wanted to go right across Canada. And I said, okay. Now, that was a pretty big request because Kristopher was very young. He was going into hospital. Kristopher Knowles.
First, we'd like to thank the walkers. Could everybody stand up and give them a round of applause? And I'd like to thank Sacred Heart School for coming to listen to this special note. And now back to George.
That was pretty straight to the point and brief. I wish he's usually like that because he doesn't stop talking, this guy, let me tell you. So, he hasn't stopped talking because now we're going to start the questions. And if I can get one of your teachers to recognize these students that are raising their hands, and here, yeah, Mr. McLean, who, by the way, your vice principal, as soon as I called up Sacred Hearts, he said, absolutely, we want to do something for Chris, and he organized a great event today. So let's give your vice principal a great hand. Okay, so who's that first grade student that usually puts, oh, right away, we got somebody here.
I started on January 8th in my hometown, Sarnia.
Okay. Remember? Question? He asked when did he get his liver back. He hasn't got his Yes.
No.
Can you repeat the question, Mr. McLean? Yeah. Is it hard?
At first it was, but now I'm kind of used to it. And I'm just glad we're out of winter and we're in summer right now. I've been through 3 so far. 4.
When's your birthday?
My birthday is April 29th. Sarnia.
What do you hope to accomplish by walking across Canada?
Well, I'm hoping to try to save everybody on the waiting list. There's about 4,000 people right now waiting for organs, and I'm encouraging everybody to sign your organ donor cards and talk to your family.
Where are you going next?
Tonight we'll